So now let's talk about tonight's primaries. In spite of the Associated Press and New York Times calling the Democratic primary for Hillary Clinton, there are elections tonight. So who votes tonight? Let's take a look. We have California, 546 delegates, and New Jersey with 142 delegates available. These are the big prizes tonight, to the extent that any of this even matters at this point. We also have Montana, New Mexico, North Dakota, and South Dakota all together comprising about, a little under 150 additional delegates. And then next Tuesday, June 14th, Washington, D.C. will vote, 45 delegates available there. Lewis, how upsetting must it be to vote in Washington, D.C.? Not only do you not have representation in the Senate if you vote in Washington, D.C., your vote almost never even matters in the primary because it's after everything has been decided. President Obama may have already endorsed Hillary Clinton by the time Washington, D.C. votes next week.
Yeah, you would think they'd be the first to vote, right? Because I would have just assumed that it would have been set up that way from the beginning. Well, yeah, must be frustrating.
So how do the polls look? We don't even have data from every state that is voting tonight. I'll show you what we do have. In California, Hillary Clinton leading Bernie Sanders by 2 percentage points in an average of recent polls as compiled by Real Clear Politics. In New Jersey, Hillary Clinton leading by about 20 percentage points over Bernie Sanders based on an average of recent polls. And in Montana, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, we have no recent enough polling to even tell us what's going on. But the most important thing I can tell you, Lewis, about Montana, New Mexico, North Dakota, and South Dakota, and this is not me saying that those states are bad states. It's not me insulting the people who live in those states, Lewis. All I'm saying is the results will not matter in those states.
Yes, most likely. Although results, depending, might make for a couple good headlines. There might be some interesting data. Ultimately, it will not matter.
You think people will be dissuaded from voting in the states that vote today based on that news yesterday that the Associated Press has determined Hillary Clinton has secured the Democratic nomination?
Well,
to be perfectly honest,
if you're politically active at all, I mean, I think you know that at this point, it just might not make a difference anyway. I mean, yesterday's news might not...
Well,
it can't help.
It's a double-edged sword in the sense that if you are voting in the primary, you probably already knew the mathematical realities of what was going on in the race because primary voters are far more informed and engaged on average than general election voters. On the other hand, not everybody would necessarily be up to speed on the news this morning. The AP announcing this last night, Monday evening, you might not even have heard about it. I don't know.
Yes, maybe not. I mean, you get up, you do your routine, you go right to work. It might not have been in any local papers yet. And so hard to say, but the news probably will dissuade some people from voting.
But it might dissuade as many Hillary supporters as Bernie supporters. They
That's
both
true.
might think
Yeah.
there's no point in going out. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Send me your thoughts about the AP's declaration that Hillary Clinton has secured the nomination. Send me your thoughts about whether anything could happen in the states that vote today that would put Bernie back on a path to this nomination. I'm on Twitter at @Pakman. Lewis is on Twitter at @LewisMotamedi. I've talked about how people of all ages, but particularly millennials, are owning cars less and participating more in the sharing economy. And one of the more popular options is Zipcar, which gets you a car when you want it, when you need it. They offer all sorts of cars, SUVs, hybrids, whatever you need. It includes insurance and it includes gas. You just pay for the time that you actually use the car. And you can reserve the car online from your smartphone over the phone. Then you unlock it with your Zip card. Each car share member reduces their personal CO2 emissions by between 1,100 and 1,600 pounds per year. For our audience, Zipcar is offering $25 of free driving credit if you sign up at joinzipcar.com/David. Support our show, reduce your carbon emissions and your spending on cars. Sign up at joinzipcar.com/David.